As promised, it's the first Sunday of the month, and I'm sharing a weight loss update. Hi, sweet friends. I'm Mary, and welcome to Mary's Nest. I'm a former New York City girl, now living the simple life with my husband here in the Texas Hill Country. And this channel is all about cooking from scratch, living naturally, and creating a cozy home with charming thrift store finds. So if you're like me and you want to live the simple life, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click on the little notification bell below. That'll let you know every time I upload a new video. Well, as I've shared with you in the past, I have been on a journey to lose weight, and it's very tied in with my desire to cook from scratch and eat a nourishing tradition style diet, eating traditional foods, bone broths, ferments, cultured dairy, so on and so forth. And in previous videos, which I'll link to the iCards and I'll put them in the description below, I shared with you how I kind of cobbled a program together for myself that involved nourishing traditions and John Douillard's, I think if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, his book, The 3-Season Diet, and which is basically just a book about eating seasonally, and the intermittent fasting that's become somewhat popular. And so kind of cobbling that together has really helped me begin to finally reduce, which is a challenge because, as I've shared with all of you, I'm in my 60s, and it's not an easy task when you want to lose weight at this age. But so far, I have lost over 30 pounds. And as I shared with you last week, I was down to, and I think I shared with you, 204.5 pounds. And it makes me laugh because I have a digital scale and it's very exact. And I have more good news to share. I am down to 203.4, so a little more than a pound. And what I do is I weigh myself every Sunday, and I just keep track of my progress. And now I share it with all of you. And I'm very pleased that the scale continues to go in the downward direction. And that's a good deal of weight that I've lost now, down from my original starting point, as I had shared with you. I think it was last week that I weighed 237 pounds. And that was a lot, and I'm only 5'3". So I'm happy to share with you today that, again, I'm going in the right direction. And I look forward to getting under that 200 mark. There's just something psychological about that. Just being under 200 pounds is really going to make me feel very happy. So I'm just, what, about 3 pounds away? And those point ounces that my scale likes to always remind me about. But in any event, today I also wanted to share with you something that I thought was interesting, because I've talked with you about the 3-season diet, and basically, if you have not had a chance to see the other videos, basically what it is a book by John Douillard, where he talks about basically the 3 growing seasons. And that's how we should eat. You know, what's grown in the spring, we're eating in the spring. What's grown in the summer, we're eating in the summer. And then what's grown in the fall, we're eating obviously in the fall. And then it's also having to sort of stretch us out through the winter months when not that much is growing. And basically it's kind of those foods that were preserved, the meats and the fats and things like that, which you're eating more in the winter. And then in the spring, you're having a lighter diet because basically, you know, our ancestors had kind of run out of those foods, and then they were relying on those lighter crops and, you know, greens and so on and so forth that were beginning to grow and sprout in the spring, and eating those. And then in the summer, lots of fruits and vegetables, and you know, so on and so forth like that. Well, I found something on the internet that I wanted to share with you, because in case you don't have the book, John has a wonderful website, and it's called, it might just be his name. Oh, here it is. It's Life Spa, LIFESPA.com, lifespa.com. And it's all about his 3-season diet. So if you don't have the book, you don't need to worry. I mean, the book goes into a lot of detail, and it's nice to have. But what's great about his website is that he has grocery lists for shopping for the 3 seasons foods, so that you can just take this to the grocery store with you and you'll know what's in season. Now, often you can tell, in the produce area and whatnot, but he goes into a lot more detail than that, like what oils you should be eating in certain seasons, what dairy you should be eating, what legumes, and even he's got listed here what herb teas, what herbs you should be using based on the seasons. And that has to do with, as he explains in the book, the flora in our gut changes basically from season to season, and those small changes that our gut goes through during the seasons makes us able to digest and assimilate the nutrients from certain foods better than other foods. So that in the winter we can better digest meats and fats, and in the spring we can better digest greens, and I think in the fall he talks about that we can better digest grains, and so on and so forth. But at least, if you don't have the book, these shopping lists are wonderful. And I don't know if you can see this, but I printed them off the internet. And they're free. You can just go right to his site, Life Spa. I think you do have to give your email and in order to sign up and get them. But he has the spring grocery list, March through June. And then he has the summer grocery list, July through October, and then he has the winter grocery list, which is November through February. And it's terrific. I mean, the detail that he goes into is just wonderful. He lists now I'll keep this spring grocery list. Normally I take the book to the grocery store with me, but now I can just take these lists. It makes it so easy. And for March through June, he lists vegetables, and you've got like alfalfa sprouts, artichokes, asparagus, bean sprouts, and all the different things. It's terrific. And then the fruits that are best to eat in the spring, and dairy, oils, sweeteners, spices, condiments, legumes, lean meat and fish, nuts and seeds, whole grains, herb tea, and beverages. So I find that very interesting, and it's fun. Yeah, black tea in moderation, coffee in moderation, water room temperature to hot, which is, and he talks about this in the book too, that sipping warm water as opposed to cold water, just in general will help digestion. And that always gives me a chuckle, because that's what my mother, who is very into good digestion, always would talk about when I was growing up. Don't drink so much cold water with ice, it's bad for digestion. And when I read this, it really gave me a chuckle. But I find that when I drink warm teas, I do feel a lot better. And when I drink water without ice, with a meal, not too much, because I don't want to dilute my digestive juices too much and make digestion difficult. But taking the water without ice, really at mealtime, I find really does help. Now in the evening, and while I'm filming this and I get very thirsty, I do have my ice water here. And it's something that I do enjoy, so I can't completely give up. So thank you so much for cheering me on. I really enjoy reading your comments and everything nice that you say to me about encouraging me to lose weight, and how some of you are joining me on this journey and also are older like me and, have had some struggles and are glad to have a little bit of a social circle and a camaraderie to kind of, all of us are cheering each other on. So thank you very much for the comments. I always enjoy reading them. And so be sure to go check John's website here, lifespa.com. And if you're interested in focusing on seasonal eating, really to a very detailed degree, I think that you'll enjoy this. And it'll also give you some, going through his website, which is very detailed, it'll give you some insight this is something that fits with how you live and how you eat and so on and so forth. I mean, I think it's wonderful. I love to eat seasonally, and I think that this is a kind of an easy way to do it when you have a grocery list that covers everything that's appropriate and good to eat with each season. Well, my weight loss update will be back in another month, and in the interim I'll be having all of these wonderful videos about cooking from scratch and living naturally, and my thrifting adventures too. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you'd like to learn more, please subscribe and then click on this video over here where you can learn what Mary's Nest is all about. And I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless.